My son asked why Nana has photos of him as a baby when we moved here when he was 5. Oliver was looking through his grandmother's photo albums when he found them. Pictures of himself as a newborn, as a toddler taking first steps, blowing out candles on a second birthday cake. The problem was, we didn't meet my mother-in-law until Oliver was 5. We'd moved across the country for my husband David's new job, and that's when we first connected with his estranged mother, or so I thought. Mom, why does Nana have these? Oliver asked, pointing to a photo of himself in a hospital bassinet, clearly hours old. My mouth went dry. David wasn't home yet. I told Oliver maybe Nana was confused. Maybe those were photos of Daddy as a baby. But Oliver's no fool at 12 years old. He pointed to the background. That's my Pokemon blanket, the one I still have. He was right. The yellow Pikachu blanket we'd bought before he was born was clearly visible. I texted David, come home. Now, emergency. While waiting, I studied the photos. They weren't copies I'd sent. These were taken from different angles, like someone else had been in the room. In some, you could see partial views of people I didn't recognize. When David walked in, I showed him the album. His face went completely white. Oliver had gone to his room, sensing this was bigger than just old photos. You need to explain these, I said, right now. David sat down heavily. My mother was there, he said quietly, when Oliver was born. She's been part of his life all along. I felt the room spin. What? He explained that his mother had been at the hospital when Oliver was born. She'd visited regularly when I was at work during my maternity leave. David would bring Oliver to see her every weekend when he said they were going to the park. For 5 years, she'd been his grandmother. For 5 years, David had been lying to me. Why? I asked. Why would you hide this? The story that came out made me sick. David's mother, Patricia, had been diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's when Oliver was 3. David knew I'd never agree to leave her alone if I knew she was sick. Knew I'd insist on helping. But he'd already accepted the job across the country, one that would triple his salary. Patricia made him promise to go. She wanted us to have the life the money would give us, David said. She made me swear not to tell you. Said she'd be fine in assisted living. But she wasn't fine. Without Oliver's visits, without family, Patricia deteriorated rapidly. By the time we moved, she barely remembered David. The assisted living facility called him one day to say she'd been moved to memory care. He flew back to move her closer to us, settling her in a facility 20 minutes from our new house. That's when the reunion happened. The mother-in-law I thought I was meeting for the first time was a carefully orchestrated introduction. Patricia had been coached for weeks to pretend she didn't know us. On her good days, she played along. On her bad days, David made excuses for why we couldn't visit. The photos were Patricia's rebellion. She'd hidden them from the nurses, from David, keeping them as proof that her grandson was real when her mind told her he might not be. She'd been clutching them when she had a moment of clarity and showed Oliver. So every Sunday when you took Oliver to soccer practice, I said. He nodded. We stopped by to see her after. 15 minutes. That's all she could usually handle. The betrayal was staggering. Not just the lies, but the theft of moments. Patricia holding my baby while I worked. Oliver's first words might have been to her. His first steps could have been in her living room. David had given away pieces of our son's childhood that belonged to all of us. I found more evidence over the following days. Oliver's baby book had entries in handwriting I didn't recognize. Milestones I thought I'd recorded were in Patricia's shaky script. She'd been documenting his growth while her own mind slipped away. There were receipts for 2 birthday cakes some years. Charges for children's museums on days David said they went to the playground. Years of elaborate deception unraveling with every discovered detail. Oliver demanded to know everything. We sat him down and David confessed it all. Oliver was furious, not about having a grandmother, but about being forced to lie to me without knowing it. All those years of going to the park when he was really visiting Nana, he felt like an accomplice to a crime he didn't know was being committed. We visited Patricia together the next day. She didn't remember any of us. The photos were scattered on her nightstand, and she was telling a nurse about her grandson who never visited. Oliver sat beside her and held her hand. I'm here, Nana, he said. She smiled vacantly and asked if he knew her grandson, Oliver. The facility director explained Patricia's condition had worsened significantly in the past year. The stress of keeping the secret during her lucid moments had likely accelerated her decline. She'd been caught several times trying to call me, but David had made sure I wasn't on her contact list. David and I separated that night, not because of Patricia, but because of the 5 years of lies. Every memory of Oliver's early childhood was tainted. Every family photo was incomplete. Patricia had been edited out of our history while simultaneously living it. Oliver visits her twice a week now. Sometimes she knows him. Sometimes she tells him about her grandson who looks just like him. He brings new photos to add to her collection. I go too, trying to build a relationship with a woman I should have known for years. Last week, she had a clear moment. She grabbed my hand and said, I'm sorry for what David asked me to do. You deserve to know. Then she faded again, asking if I knew when her grandson would visit.